Tonight, a race against time at the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, now threatened by an abrupt halt in federal funding. New at 10, Annie Kroll tells us about the emergency campaign underway to keep the stories of Holocaust survivors alive. Annie?
Mike, last week the Holocaust Museum learned their federal grant from the Institute of Museum and Library Services had been cut. Since 2022, 2 staff members have been using that funding to digitally immortalize the testimonies of local Holocaust survivors.
So obviously this is a big hit to the museum.
The voices of history, 140 survivor testimonies preserved, but more than half the project now in jeopardy. These aren't just archives, they're living shields against hatred.
Because we are losing the first-hand accounts, the witnesses. They're leaving us, they're in their 80s, 90s, and older, so they won't be here forever. So these resources are absolutely critical to keep this information available to today's students and to the generations to come.
With each passing day, irreplaceable testimonies risk being lost to time as the painstaking work of digitization grinds to a halt.
So the process involved is painstaking scanning of these images, transcribing the text that's often in handwritten form in some cases. It's tedious, meticulous work, and that's the kind of thing that our staff is working on.
The crisis extends beyond one museum, creating a domino effect across institutions fighting to preserve our collective memory.
We're vying for competition. We're all looking at the same funders, hoping for them to plug these holes. And it's difficult. We don't want to be in competition with each other. We want to support each other.
Now an emergency campaign is in place to raise $130,000 to keep the project going and protect the stories of survivors who rebuilt their lives in St. Louis. The timing and irony during Passover, a holiday centered on remembrance itself.
Passover is about remembering the past. It's about telling the story through the Seder of the flight from Egypt. Here are people that needed to escape a horrible situation and come to St. Louis. A lot of those families, descendants, and some of the survivors themselves are sitting down to a Passover Seder to remember their own past. So this is a painful reminder of how the ability to tell these stories can get stripped away.
And if you're interested in donating to the Holocaust Museum's archival project and the emergency funding campaign, you can find a link to do that on our website in the As Seen on TV section of KSTK.com.